I want you to think about a time when you felt entirely, just totally unappreciated.
Oh, yeah. That is a rough feeling.
Right. Like, think about a moment where you gave absolutely 100% of yourself. Maybe it was a massive project at work where you pulled late nights, or maybe you were helping out a friend in a really prolonged crisis.
Or even just bending over backwards to accommodate a total stranger.
Exactly. And you got absolutely nothing in return. No thank you, no recognition, zero. I mean, did it feel fundamentally unfair?
It almost always does, yeah.
Did it leave you with this burning sense of, like, wondering what the point of doing the right thing even is?
Well, today we are going on a deep dive into a framework that argues you actually did get paid for that hard work.
You just can't see the bank account yet.
Right.
Because, I mean, it is a universally frustrating human experience to feel unseen. We have this innate desire for balance,
Yeah.
for our efforts to be recognized and rewarded in some tangible way.
Yeah, absolutely. And when that doesn't happen, the psychological dissonance is just heavy. But the text we are looking at today attempts to completely resolve that dissonance. It argues that an unrewarded effort is, well, it's actually a physical impossibility.
It's a really fascinating text. It's a singular, frankly mind-bending essay written by a writer named Su Feng. It was published on December 3rd, 2023, and it's titled, "All Our Efforts and Dedications Serve to Accumulate Merit for Ourselves." But before we really get into the weeds here, I want to make our mission clear to you listening.
Yeah, very important disclaimer.
We are here to impartially explore this highly specific spiritual and philosophical worldview. We are not, like, endorsing these cosmic laws as literal scientific facts that you need to adopt.
Right, we're just unpacking them.
Exactly. We're unpacking them to understand a really intricate perspective on how human morality, fairness, and the universe might all intersect.
And the foundation of Sui Feng's entire argument really rests on this one uncompromising premise. The universe operates on a strict, inescapable ledger of energetic accounting.
A literal ledger.
A literal ledger. In this framework, there is simply no such thing as an unrewarded good deed. And by the same token, there's no such thing as a wrong that goes unpunished. It is a completely closed system.
To really grasp how he gets there, though, we first have to fundamentally redefine what the word truth means in the context of this essay.
Right, because he uses it very specifically.
Yeah. Usually when we say truth, we just mean a verifiable fact, like the sky is blue, water is wet. But the author links truth inextricably to justice, and even more surprisingly, to physics.
That is the pivotal concept Su Feng establishes right out of the gate. He actually writes, truth must be fair. If it's not fair, it cannot be called truth.
Wow.
Yeah. He strips away the emotional weight we usually assign to justice, and he redefines it as an exact mathematical one-to-one ratio.
So an exact ratio meaning what exactly?
Meaning the amount a person gives and dedicates must exactly equal the compensation they receive. The amount you reap has to perfectly match the effort you put in, completely without bias.
I mean, that sounds more like an accounting spreadsheet than a philosophical or spiritual doctrine.
It really does.
And he backs this up using scientific principles rather than religious dogma, which is a really interesting rhetorical choice. He leans on three, what he calls fact-based theories.
Right. So the first theory he cites is the idea that the sum of positive and negative energy in the universe is zero.
Okay.
The second is the principle of the conservation of energy in physics. The law stating that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or transformed.
That's the one I remember from high school physics.
Exactly. And the third is the classic law of cause and effect, which is the basic idea that you reap what you sow. So he uses these physical and logical laws to anchor his spiritual claim.
I really want to linger on that second one, the conservation of energy.
Yeah.
Because blending a hard physics concept with human morality is a massive leap.
It's a huge leap, yeah.
If I spend 3 hours helping someone move a really heavy couch, I have burned physical calories. I have expended mechanical energy.
Real measurable energy.
Right. And the author is arguing that this energy doesn't just evaporate into the ether because the other person forgot to say thank you.
No, it can't. The laws of physics say it can't.
That energy has to go somewhere. So in this view, doing a good deed isn't just this nebulous moral victory that makes you feel warm and fuzzy. You are literally transferring energy into your own cosmic bank account.
Exactly. The physics of the universe demand that the energy you put out remains in the system, and it ultimately has to balance out to your benefit.
The universe is basically framed as the ultimate infallible accountant.
That's exactly it. The mechanical principles and laws of the universe ensure the balance of gain and loss. It is a certainty of retribution and reward. Your physical and spiritual efforts are treated as raw energy that is endlessly conserved and accounted for.
Okay, but if the universe operates like this unfeeling, calculating spreadsheet, how does it handle the deeply human, messy concepts?
Like what?
Well, we constantly evaluate things through the lens of morality, right? Good, evil, beauty, ugliness. A spreadsheet doesn't care about ethics.
And neither does the universe, according to this text.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Schwiffing writes that truth upholds fairness without delving into the ethics of truthfulness, falsehood, good or evil. The universe just doesn't judge.
Interesting.
To illustrate this, the author introduces the concept of truth as a mirror. A mirror doesn't look at you and offer a critique on your outfit or your moral character.
Right. It just reflects.
It simply reflects the visual data in front of it.
The essay gives a very stark example of this, actually. It says, if we are a horse, the mirror reflects a horse. If we are a wolf, undoubtedly the mirror shows a wolf.
Precisely.
The mirror isn't going to punish the wolf for having sharp teeth or being a predator. It just projects the current reality back to the subject.
And that individual reflection scales up dramatically, too. The mirror analogy applies to humanity as a whole collective.
Oh, so like society-wide.
Exactly. The author argues that our current global state is just a macro reflection of our collective consciousness. If humanity collectively loves peace, the mirror reflects a peaceful, prosperous world.
And if humanity loves conflict,
then we get a world of endless strife and war. It's just a reflection.
Which naturally leads to how we interact with the physical earth. Because this part of the essay is particularly heavy.
Yeah, it gets intense here.
Harming nature doesn't just make us bad people in a philosophical sense. It triggers a literal mechanical retaliation from nature.
The text specifically lists things like hurricanes, hail, droughts, and floods. In this framework, these are not random meteorological anomalies or just bad luck.
They're reflections.
Right. They are the mirror reflecting humanity's antagonistic relationship with the Earth back onto itself.
I have to pause here, though, and just push back on that idea a little on behalf of the listener, because that brings up a pretty severe friction point.
Yeah, I figured you might catch that.
If the mirror just reflects what's there, and every natural disaster is a cosmic response to human consciousness, doesn't that imply a terrifying level of blame on humanity?
It does.
Like, if a flood wipes out an entire town, is the universe saying the town brought it upon themselves? How does the author account for people who are totally innocent? Children, for example, who get caught up in these massive, horrific events. A child dying in a flood completely shatters that one-to-one fairness ratio we just talked about.
It absolutely does from our perspective. And that is the ultimate stress test of this entire philosophy.
Yeah.
But Chauvin doesn't shy away from it.
He addresses it.
He leans right into it with what is arguably the most challenging claim in the whole essay. He writes, "In the universe, no soul is wronged. Everything is a consequence of one's own actions, a web of one's own making."
Wow. Saying no soul is wronged in a world with so much visible, agonizing suffering. I mean, that is an incredibly bold position.
It is.
How does he possibly justify the suffering of someone who clearly did nothing to deserve it in this lifetime?
He addresses this by introducing the concepts of the Dharma eye and the Buddha eye.
Okay, we should probably define those for the listener. Those are pretty heavy terms to just drop into the conversation.
Fair point.
Yeah.
So in many spiritual traditions, the Dharma eye refers to the ability to see the underlying truth and mechanics of reality, like seeing how the laws of cause and effect actually operate behind the scenes.
Okay. And the Buddha eye?
The Buddha eye goes even further. It is a state of omniscience. It's the ability to see the vast interconnected web of all lifetimes past, present, and future.
Ah, I see where this is going.
Right. Schwiffing brings these up to highlight our own limitations.
Yeah.
He argues that we, as mere mortals, we only have physical eyes. We are shackled by the present moment.
So we only see the tiny, tiny slice of time between our birth and our death.
Exactly. We think a tragedy is unfair because we are only looking at the immediate timeline of this one specific life. The text claims we are blind to the truth because we cannot see the karma that spans across past, present, and future lives.
So the ledger doesn't reset when you die?
No, the ledger doesn't just calculate your actions from the day you were born to the day you die in this current body. It is a continuous accounting across multiple incarnations.
It's like trying to judge the plot of an epic 10-season television show when you've only been allowed to watch one random 5-minute scene from season 4.
That is a great analogy.
You see a character get hurt, and you think the writers are terrible and the show makes no sense. But you couldn't see the 3 seasons of setup, the secret betrayals, and the character's past choices that led directly to that exact moment.
That visual captures the essence of his argument perfectly. We are only ever watching season 4, so we just assume the universe made a mistake.
Okay, I understand the logic within the framework, but I
But
also have to point out that relying on past and future lives acts as a very convenient loophole.
oh, absolutely.
If you build a philosophy that says everything is perfectly fair, and then you encounter something undeniably unfair, well, pointing to an invisible past life that no one can verify is a pretty handy way to keep your math equation intact. It kind of makes the theory impossible to disprove.
That is a very valid critique, and it really highlights the boundary where this crosses from a philosophical theory into required spiritual faith.
Right.
What's interesting, though, is that Swiffing seems to recognize the overwhelming complexity of this. He actually shows a surprising amount of humility regarding his own limitations. He writes, "I cannot delve into the analysis of the factors behind the grand events in human history."
Wait, he admits he can't explain everything.
He does. He explicitly acknowledges an inability to explain the rise and fall of dynasties or, the horrific phenomenon of millions being killed during historical transitions.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, he admits the macro-level karma involving millions of souls across centuries is just simply too complex for him to untangle and present as evidence.
I really appreciate that groundedness, actually. It's rare to see a spiritual writer admit a blind spot like that.
It is.
But if the macro history is too chaotic to analyze, how does he test this theory? I mean, it's sitting alone in a room thinking about abstract karma doesn't really prove the one-to-one ratio he claims is a mathematical certainty.
Well, since he can't map out the grand historical events, he shifts his focus entirely to microanalysis.
Okay, what does that look like?
He writes about combing through the memories of people he has personally known throughout his life. He basically manually audits the outcomes of his childhood playmates, schoolmates, colleagues from factories and offices, and friends from the business world.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he tracks their behavior and their eventual fortunes to see if the ledger actually balances.
That still feels pretty subjective, though. It's just one guy looking back at his old coworkers. Does he test this in a rigorous way?
He attempts to. To observe this microeconomy of merit in real time, he turns to a highly controlled environment he is deeply embedded in, the Chanyuan Celestials of the second home of Lifechanyuan.
Okay, let's unpack those terms for the listener. Who are the Chanyuan Celestials, and what is the second home of Lifechanyuan? Are we talking about a physical place here?
Yes, we are. Lifechanyuan is a spiritual community founded by Zufeng. The second home refers to the collective, physical living environments they established. It operates somewhat like a commune where members live and work together.
Okay, got it.
And the members of this community refer to themselves as Chanyuan Celestials. Schweffing notes that over the past decade or so, he has interacted with them the most, observing them every single day.
So he is basically using his own community as a petri dish to watch this cosmic spreadsheet in action.
Precisely. And the meticulousness of his observation is staggering. He is watching their efforts, their dedications, the specific comments they make online, and their daily chores in the home.
He's tracking all of that.
Every detail. The text quotes an old saying here to emphasize the strictness of the universe. Divine punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through.
The idea of a big mesh that somehow catches every single drop of water is a great paradox. It implies a system so vast you don't even notice it, yet so perfectly calibrated that nothing escapes its accounting.
Exactly. And based on this microscopic observation, the author claims he can generally predict the ultimate spiritual destinations of these individuals.
Destinations meaning like their afterlife.
Yes. In his specific cosmology, there are ascending tiers of spiritual paradise. He mentions predicting who will graduate to the Celestial Islands continent, who will go to the 10,000-year world, the 1,000-year world, or...
let me guess, who hasn't accumulated enough merit.
Right. Who hasn't accumulated enough merit and will simply return to the human world.
So the spreadsheet has very specific output folders depending on your balance.
Exactly.
But while we're talking about how you accumulate or lose that merit, the text issues a pretty severe warning about something that isn't physical at all. The essay states that emotional changes and attitudes are just as meticulously tracked as physical actions.
Yes. In this framework, an internal emotion operates as a literal action. It generates an energetic frequency. The author warns that in a collective environment, Any word spoken or feeling harbored lays down either blessings or hidden dangers.
Really? Just feelings?
Yes, he specifically lists negative emotions: indifference, anger, rage, or hatred.
I mean, it's one thing to say hitting someone is a debit on your cosmic account, but just feeling indifferent. How does the text justify a silent emotion causing a future consequence?
It comes right back to the energy argument. Indifference or hatred are not just passive moods, they are active, energetic outputs. They disrupt the harmony of the environment.
Oh, I see.
The essay states that harboring these feelings will, without fail, surely bring suffering one day in the future. The universe doesn't care if you kept your mouth shut. The internal energetic vibration was still registered by the ledger.
Honestly, trying to police your internal emotions to that degree sounds exhausting.
It would be, yeah.
But let's bring this vast cosmic system down to the ground. How do we apply this incredibly intense ledger to our actual daily lives? Because this brings us to what I think is the most mind-bending and practically useful lesson in the entire essay.
It's a great takeaway.
Think back to that scenario I asked you to imagine at the very beginning. When someone takes advantage of you, or they dump their work on your desk, or they are just profoundly rude to you. Usually the immediate reaction is to feel victimized.
You feel a sense of loss. You feel that someone has extracted your time, your energy, or your dignity without offering anything in return.
Right. But the author introduces this fascinating economic flip. According to Zhu Feng, when someone takes advantage of you, the taker is actually dissipating their own blessings. They're making a massive withdrawal from their cosmic bank account. Meanwhile, you, the victim, the giver in this scenario, are passively accumulating invisible merit.
It is a total radical reframing of interpersonal dynamics. The text explicitly says the more blessings the recipient loses, the more merit the giver gains.
It totally neutralizes the sting of being used. You aren't being played for a fool. You are just watching someone hand over their cosmic wallet to you.
It completely removes the need for petty revenge or holding on to grudges. The universe is already handling the transaction. You don't need to get even because the scale is violently balancing itself in real time.
Right.
The person exploiting you is bankrupting their own spiritual future and funneling that capital directly to you.
Which gives us the final empowering takeaway from Zhu Feng's advice. If you're listening to this, don't waste your precious energy worrying about whether the people around you are slacking off.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
Don't stress if they seem to be unfairly enjoying blessings they didn't earn, or if they're getting away with taking advantage of the system. Let the universe handle the audit. Your only job is to keep giving, keep dedicating joyfully, and trust that the cosmic ledger is infallible and will compensate you.
It places the control entirely in your own hands. Your merit is dictated solely by your actions and your emotional output, regardless of how chaotically or unfairly anyone else behaves.
But because we love to push the boundaries of these ideas here, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. Something for you to mull over long after this deep dive is over.
Let's hear it.
Let's say we truly deeply internalize this concept. We operate with the absolute certainty that every single effort we make guarantees a cosmic reward.
Okay.
We know that every time someone wrongs us, they are just transferring their blessings into our account. If we believe that, does true selfless altruism actually exist?
Oh, wow. It completely disrupts the definition of goodness.
Exactly.
If the universe is essentially an impeccable bank that guarantees a massive return on your investment, then giving to others is no longer a sacrifice.
If you are only giving joyfully because you know, as a matter of cosmic physics, that the universe will eventually pay you back with interest, are you really being selfless? Or are you just demonstrating cosmic financial literacy?
That's brilliant. It suggests that the most strategic, self-serving thing a person can do is to be relentlessly kind.
You're making a highly calculated, completely foolproof investment in your own future. So think back one last time to that moment you felt totally unappreciated, when you gave your all and got nothing back. Maybe nobody was taking advantage of you at all. You were just making a very quiet, very profitable deposit.